kind of like that. I'm really getting a kick out of the music here, but I am going to dive right in. I tell you, that is pretty exciting to me. In the meantime, once again, welcome to the number one station in the nation, GMAP Broadcast Network, GMAP1.com. Yours truly, Pastor Kevin. Always get excited. I always get, somewhat overwhelmed when I have this opportunity. And today is no different. We are here live with one of our, for those of you that don't know, now you know, one of our featured children's authors. And it is an exciting time for her as well as me. Terry Overton is here. And I am not going to discredit her and take away any of the outstanding information that she's going to want to share with us on today. So we can dive right in. You look just like the picture. I just want you to know that. That was look just like the picture. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dudes and dudettes, I want to welcome Terry to our broadcast network platform. And Terry, do me a favor. Introduce yourself. Tell us who you are. Tell us who you are, where you're from. Who is Terry Overton?
Well, let's see. I am a retired teacher, professor from university. I have been writing books now ever since I retired. Well, I was writing before that, but I've been writing fun books, children's books, and so on since I retired. I am very concerned about what our kids are reading and what they're being exposed to, oftentimes without their parents' knowledge. And so my goal is to give some alternatives to parents and librarians and churches and homeschoolers of some books that are fun for kids, but also educational. I guess that's, part of my background, having been a teacher before. I really see this as an opportunity for children to learn some things they haven't been learning in schools. And they can be fun. It does, it's not like a homework assignment or anything like that. These are adventure books. The one that's featured today, the one that has so much drama in the music background, is The Escape. It's actually the fourth book in a series, and number 5 is going to be coming out probably in about a month or so. But the series is put in the future. It's not too far in the future, but it's a time when there aren't any books for kids to read. And most of the time when I start a book or a series, it's to address a problem. So this particular problem, of course, as I said, is what are our kids reading? And are there some alternatives out there that they would like and that their parents would enjoy them reading that also teach them things? So the Underground Book Readers puts kids in a world where they're not allowed to read books. They're banned. Churches are burned down. The schools have been destroyed. Most of their parents are gone. They've either been taken by this world force invasion or they've died from a virus, a disease. And so these teens are kind of on their own, and they pick up here and there some other younger kids. And they remember books in schools, and they find books and they hide them in a cavern in the Blue Ridge Mountains in Virginia. And they have their own little school, and they read books to each other. They read the books that are now banned in some of our libraries, and they talk about them, and they read the Bible, and they have their own church and Sunday school. So that's kind of the problem there, is what would kids do if they didn't have books? Because most kids now are on their devices and not really reading books. So it's a chance to have them look inside a world without books and see what that would be like. Another series that kind of ties into this is the Newton Chronicles, which teaches kids about the Old and New Testaments through time travel. Now, both of these series are kind of related in a way with what's happening now in our world. I know, Kevin, when you and I first started talking, we didn't know that this war in Israel was going to be what it is now. And so the Newton Chronicles, which has been out for, a year, was written to show kids the importance of Israel and Jerusalem in our world. And so all of my books are educational and trying to teach kids, I don't know about you, Kevin, but when I was in Sunday school and they would talk about religious wars, I thought, now, isn't that silly? Why would people fight over religion? And I
Right.
think kids, even today don't understand, why is everybody so upset about this thing going on in Israel?
Mm-hmm.
And so, the Newton Chronicle books, there's time travel through Old and New Testaments by three very unlikely characters. Now, I don't know if I've told you this before, Kevin, but my background was in special education. So all my characters, all my books have some kids in there that are just a little bit quirky,
Okay.
and yet they end up being heroes and saving the day. So
Right.
in the Newton Chronicles, there's of course a geek that's been kicked around in school. There's a girl who is a Messianic Jewish girl, which is a chance to teach kids that there are a lot of Jewish people that do believe in Jesus. There are some that don't, or that know that he existed but not really sure what that means yet. So it's a chance to teach those kinds of things. Now, this time travel in the Newton Chronicles series, these three kids find this quantum physics little device they can't control, and they're hopping all over the place in time, and they can't control where they're going. So they go to like the 6-Day War. They go back and see the night that Jesus was born. They're just hopping back and forth in time and talking about what's going on there. So then the new series, the one that you and I have been talking about that has the drama in it, is for kids a little bit older. The Newton Chronicles one, and they're kind of like this, kind of almost like a little cartoon. They're for kids a little younger, 8 to 12. Then the series that we're talking about that has the dramatic, suspenseful events going on is to show kids not only about not having books, but to give them a picture of what would happen in our country if we didn't have our freedoms, if we weren't allowed to worship. We couldn't read, what do you do? And of course, these kids are going to eventually kind of create another environment, another free world, make a better society. The series is supposed to be six books long. I'm not sure they can solve all these problems in 6 books, but that's kind of what I was hoping for. So the one that we're talking about today, The Escape, is book 4 in the series. And these kids realize that this world force who's taken over the United States is now going to take over their property where they've had a headquarters. So they are having to escape. And then book 5, which is not out yet, takes you on a journey with them.
Wow. Well, I already warned people, Terry, that when we begin this process of conversation and speaking pretty much about your publications, I had the opportunity to view your website, and it's one of those situations where I don't know if you've seen that that animated cartoon movie series, Finding Nemo. But
yeah.
it brought me to Finding Nemo because there was one scene in that movie where I think Dory was the one that said, just keep going, just keep going, just keep. So you kind of know what I'm talking about. And when I looked at your website, that's what I had to do. I couldn't just look at a very particular area because it goes on and on and on, and I had to just
long.
keep. Yeah, I mean it, but it's outstanding information. It's not
Thank you.
something that it's not unnecessary information to have. I mean, once I went there, I saw, Okay, a Christian indie award winner. She's a Bookfest award winner. American Writing Award winner. Mom's, don't take that frivolously, Mom's Choice Award winner. See, you didn't think I knew all this. You didn't think I went to that site and saw it.
You've been spying.
Yeah, and I'm not done yet because I'm gonna be like Dory. I'm gonna keep going. And Firebird Award winner and International Book Award finalist. And I'm sure there's going to be so much more to come. For those of you who really, really want to find out in detail about some of the publications that Terry has available, I think you definitely have to visit your website. So even before we move on, Terry, I want you to share your website information with our viewers and listeners around the world. Will you do that for me?
Okay. It's authorterryoverton.com. So it's pretty simple. If you go to do a search just under my name, Terry Overton, and it's Terry with a Y, you'll see that website comes up. I have a blog website that comes up. My Amazon page comes up. So if you just put the name in there, you'll be able to find it.
Just keep going. Just keep going. I'm just kind of giving you guys a heads up. So it will not be something that will maintain. You know, these days we got an attention span of maybe 3 seconds, 5 seconds at the most. You know, we used to have an attention span of 7 seconds. They eliminated those 2 seconds. You know, so this will maintain your attention span. I can guarantee it. It will maintain your attention span for a lot longer than 7 to 10 seconds. Trust me. It's going to. I mean, I was blown. I couldn't stop reading and finding out more intimate information and detail about this young lady. And I got so excited. Then I began to reach out to others. I began to talk to different networks. I immediately began to make and work on that dramatic. We can't forget about that dramaticy, that dramaticy of that book trailer. So right now, Terry, we're focused on, of course, The Escape. I'm going to show that to a couple of our viewers and listeners around the world. This is the book that you will see on our broadcast network site in our featured children's authors area. All you got to do is stop by GMAP1.com and click on the tab that is simply titled Featured Children's Authors. You'll see a copy of this publication. Click on it. It will take you to that website that is so amazing. And we want you to make sure you show your love, care, concern, and support. But don't forget to go out and purchase a bookshelf, okay? Because you are going to need it. Now, of course, it's the Underground Book Readers, The Escape, Terry Overton, and we want you to show your love, care, concern, and support. And now, you know, Terry, I know you have a lot of books in your archive. Just, if you don't mind, share with us a few of the latest releases and maybe tell us just slightly a little bit about each one, if you don't mind doing that for us.
Okay. Well, one of them I haven't mentioned yet is one that's coming up for a seasonal kind of gift. It's a set. There's 2 books called The Oddball Ornaments. And these books, again, remembering that I have, a special ed background, I thought, well, let's make these ornaments not the shiniest ones. Maybe they have a little something wrong with them. And, maybe a piece is broken off or whatever, the glitter is coming off of one. But I was actually motivated by just looking at my Christmas tree a couple of Christmases ago, and I thought, now if those ornaments could talk, what would they say and how would they tell the story of Christmas? And so this book is about the ornaments explaining or finding out what the true meaning of Christmas is. Now, the thing about these ornaments, they can hear they're humans, but their humans, of course, can't hear them. So they're eavesdropping on everything going on in the family and talking about that. And they figure out that Christmas is not about ornaments or Christmas trees. And they were told by another ornament, you know, you need to climb up to the top of the tree and talk to the angel and ask her what Christmas is really all about. So they find that out. But they also have, you know, they learn a life lesson because the grandfather has passed away. The grandmother has come to live with the family. So that book is a little bit about going to heaven and also about the birth of Christ. And then the second book is called The Story of Forgiveness, when these oddballs ornaments learn the next Christmas that there has been a prodigal son that ran away from home and he's returning. So that second book is how the oddball ornaments learn about forgiveness. Now it is for younger ages. It's for ages probably 6, maybe 5, 6 to 8, 9 or so. But other kids like it, and parents have read it to younger kids as well. So that's a good one to think about because Christmas is coming up. And I think the publisher just put that one out in hardback also, if you want it to be something that you know have as a tradition in your family to bring it out. So we talked about the series, the Underground Book Readers. Then there's another one that I had out in memory of my dad and mom. They both died of COVID over a year ago. And I used to go with my dad to a donut shop. Now I'm talking about as an adult, I went with him, okay? And I went to see his buddies. They were all vets and, you know, retired veterans and a rancher, you know, and they would meet at the donut shop and they told stories. And so one of these old guys said to me one time, your next book, you need to write a book about us and let kids know what us guys do, because they come in the donut shop and they get their donuts and they see these old guys sitting around the table. And he said, we need to teach them, you know, what our life has been like and what we do here. And so that book is called Legends of the Donut Shop, is about these guys sitting around telling their stories. My dad is the grandfather in the book, and he was a 3 Purple Heart Korean War vet, so he's got some war stories in there. And there's some other characters in there. My husband's father was a sheriff, so he's in there as a sheriff. There's a friend of my dad's who was a rancher, and my son-in-law is a rancher, so I've got some rancher stories in there with that particular character. But the thing that the Legends of the Donut Shop is about, it's about second chances, because the kid in the donut shop who goes to listen to all these stories, he's a 17-year-old boy, but he actually has been in a car wreck and he's having a near-death kind of experience. And in that, he travels back to the donut shop. And that's where you hear all the stories. It's not really a book about the guys, the old guys, although, you know, they're a big part of it. But it's about this teenager who's been in a car wreck and he has a near-death experience. And while he is having that near-death experience, he goes back to when he was a younger boy at the donut shop, and he would sit around and listen to these guys. And he kind of starts to figure out the big meaning of life and faith, and realized he'd kind of gotten away from that as a teenager. And so when he does, you know, finally come around out of the coma, he is ready for a second chance at life. Now, we'll tell you that near-death experience is based on my own experience that I had after surgery 30-some years ago. And I never really talked about it. I hadn't written about it. But I thought, you know, this would be a good way for people to understand that if you come that close to dying, you do turn your life around. You know, you start to realize there are things that you need to do differently. And so that's what this teenager does. And that's, you know, I showed that cover as it was being designed. I showed it to my dad. He liked the cover. I told the guys at the donut shop I was writing the book. And then before my dad got to see the book, he and my mom both died of COVID within 24 hours of each other.
Oh my
And so
goodness.
he never got to see it. Although I know he's read it. I know he's, looked over my shoulder now and read it. But I did get to give a copy of it to all of his buddies who were his pallbearers at his funeral. So, it's bittersweet.
Yeah.
But now if I'm missing my parents, I'll read that book. It just
Yeah.
makes me feel closer to them.
Wow. I tell you, it's amazing just to hear a lot of see this. Let me warn you. This cannot be one time, one sided. You only hear from me conversation. We have to really and truly. We got to do some follow ups. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dudes and dudettes, welcome to the number one station in the nation, GMAP Broadcast Network, GMAP1.com, one of our fabulous featured children's authors is here with us. And once again, her name is Terry Overton. And of course, we thank God for our partner networks who's going to be airing this conversation, surprise, surprise, with on their platforms. You are not aware of that. So, and they're also going to take that dramatic out. I am bowing my head and I am taking my bows. All of that. I am accepting it because I think I did a fantabulous job.
You did, and I love your new word.
I want to see that word, Terry, in your next book. Now, I want you to take a little journey for me. I want you to take a little journey for me. I want you to look back, kind of take a look. How? I mean, if you can briefly share, how did all of this really begin for you? I mean, where did it start? At what point did you know it was time to start disseminating and releasing these book publications to individuals around the world? Go there with me.
Okay, it's when I retired and had time, to do it because working at a university, I had to write a lot all the time, but it was research or grant writing or I have a textbook out. I mean, I was doing a lot of writing, but it was never. I mean, it was. I guess it was kind of rewarding. It wasn't fun, and this kind of writing is just so much fun to me. That it's kind of like I think I'm working more hours a day than I did when I was working. It's that much fun to me. So, and I retired in 2016, and so I kind of started writing after that.
Wow. I tell you. Now, I want you to also take a little journey, and I want you to look at that particular time, and you're going to float through all the other things that has taken place along the way. And now you are at this very moment, this dramatic moment. All right. And I want you to tell me what's next for you.
Well, when I finish this series, I already have still another series. It's an adult series, a women's fiction, that I have one more book to finish in that series, and that's the Sable Palm series. And that is about some golden girls that live on the coast, which of course is me and some of my friends.
Yeah.
But they're all widowed though, and we're not, but in the book they're widowed, and there's some pretty amazing things that happen there with them kind of learning to trust God and what God does in their life. One of them, they go through a hurricane. Another one, they kind of help their community to fend off this big money developer that wants to come in and change everything. There's a Christmas book with that one also. It's Christmas at Sable Palms. And then The other one that's coming out, which I've been working on, is Sable Palm's The Stormy Past. And since it's not out yet, I won't tell you what that's going to be about. But so I've got to finish that up. I have another book in mind, another kid's book in mind. That's, kind of finishing up projects and working more on marketing and maybe doing more book signings, which has been kind of difficult, to do here. We
Right,
live
right.
in Texas, in the southern tip of Texas. I mean, you're either going to go to Mexico or fall in the water down here. That's where we are. And you know where Brownsville is. So we're down close to Brownsville, Texas. And so getting up to other parts of the country with the way flying is, and, we went through so much with COVID. I've had major book events that have been canceled still for, health reasons. And for 2 years, one of them was canceled because of COVID. So, it's trying to get back into doing more of that, I think, as I work on these other books.
Now, let me ask you this: is the majority of your book publications and releases, are they all or the majority of them faith based?
Yes. Yes, they're Christian, conservative values, and, patriotic, because I do think this is the greatest country in the world. And, we have a lot of military in our family. My grandson and his really good friend are both currently deployed right now in unstable part of the world. So, those are kind of what my values are, and where these books are kind of framed. And that's, the thing I didn't really talk much about so far in the series, the Underground Book Readers, that what happens in that series, I'm hoping kids will become more aware and not let it happen. But I also hope their parents become more aware. There's, we know here in our own country right now that, there are people coming in. I wrote a book for adults called Both Sides of the Border, and that's when it was fairly well controlled down here, because I do live, on the border. But it's kind of really out of hand now. And I guess I'm worried about that. I'm worried about how we have foreign country landowners here, lots of them, with big, lots of land. And so in the Underground Book Readers, that's kind of what happened. The country was infiltrated, and all of a sudden there was no more United States. So it's just, I like for kids and their parents to think about the big picture, just like with the Newton Chronicles in Israel. Think about the big picture. What does that mean in the world, to have a war going on now in that particular part of the world? But it's still, trying to do it with funny characters, lots of dialogue, lots of action, lots of suspense, lots of, let's see if I can say it right, dramacy. Is that, did I say it right? Lots of dramacy.
That's it. Oh my good. We have come up with a final conclusion of our newest word. Now, don't get surprised when you see this in the next Webster's dictionary. I'm just saying. Dramacy. Okay. Now, I had a question because I was reading some information about you. Terry Overton is a retired university professor of education, school psychology. Now it goes on to say on your website she has an I quote ED.D. How do you say that?
That's a EDD. It's a doctorate in education, and then a PhD in psychology. Yeah.
So you do say it. So you do say it EDD. EDD. And the list goes on and on. I'm telling you, when you read and go to the website and look at this, I want you to think of Finding Nemo, and specifically that character, Dory. I want you to make sure you do that, because it's going to go on and on. You got to just keep going. I'm telling you. So I want you guys to stay close. Coming up in just a few minutes, we're going to find out all the intimate information and details about how we could show our love, our care, concern, and support to Terry, and purchase a copy of her library and put it in your home. All right. We want you to go out and get that. Listen, don't go to the website until you go get a bookshelf. Okay?
Now wait, that's okay. They can go ahead and get the books and then see how big the bookshelf has to be.
Oh, okay. So we don't want to eliminate that. We don't want to not have them go. Oh, I tell you what, go get the books first and then get the bookshelf. All right. Oh my goodness. So we'll be right back in just a few moments. We'll find out how you can show your love, care, concern, and support to Terry. And of course, we want you to go out, purchase a copy of not one but as many of these publications as you can. And at the time, we want you to be sure. Now, this is a very important but yet an honest statement. Please leave a review. Okay, no matter what you do, no matter how many books you purchase, no matter where you get them from, please leave a review. Listen, I'll be back in just a few moments right here on the #1 station in the nation, GMAP Broadcast Network. Yours truly, Pastor Kevin, along with Terry Overton, one of our featured children's book authors on the GMAP Broadcast Network. Stay close. Don't move. We shall return. All right? Yeah. That's that dramatic scene. I love it. I do. And I tell you, want you to go out and love it too. Back right here on the GMAP Broadcast Network, GMAP1.com. Yours truly, Pastor Kevin, along with our featured children's author, Terry Overton here. And all you got to do is stop by. And I'm a little ashamed of myself because I'm going to just be honest with you, Terry. I need at least 3 more of your publications to post on our site. There's
Okay.
Yeah, there's a row of 4 in each area, in the area on our site. There's a row of 4. I just have to, and if you don't mind, I have to have at least 3 more of the exclusive publications that you personally would choose out of your library of books and publications. I want you to choose 3 additional publications exclusively from you that I can have posted next to the one that's already there. I have to have at least 4. I don't do a bio information and all that on our site, but I think if people were to see a variety of publications, they would understand how important it is to go take a look. And if one doesn't catch their eye, then the other one will. And so on and so forth. So I mean, it's the holiday season. I just want people to be able to grasp the variety of publications that you have to offer. And I'll be calling you after the conversation. I had no idea we were just going to had no idea that we were just going to keep going, but it is what it is. I tell you, I don't mind. So, with that being said, break it down for us and tell us how, #1, they can go out and show their love, care, concern, and support for you, and purchase a copy of book or books that are in your archives, how can they do that? And how can you, on a
Okay.
more individual level, how can you be connected with? How can they contact you?
Okay. They can, if they go to that website, the one that you were talking about that goes on and on, there's a little envelope there. I think maybe that's how you contacted me once when you emailed me. So they can do that. They can find me also on the Amazon page. I have an author page there. They can send me an email, particularly if they might want to donate some books, let's say to, a hospital or a homeschool or something like that. If they're interested in purchasing them, some of them I can get to them directly at a little bit lower cost. Most of them are, kind of a set price, but there might be we could maybe work something out if it's a homeschool kind of situation. And that email is, as I said, it's on that website, but it's overton@mac.com, OVERT@mac.com. And I have a blog also, Terry Overton Books, if they want to look at that for just some devotional writing that I've done. If they want to for me to send a newsletter out when new books come out, I can do that too. They can let me know on that email site.
Wow. I tell you, you have that is really the perfect scenario for you, the just keep going scenario, because it seems as though you are just going to keep going. And it's an amazing thing because when you have a passion for doing what it is that you're doing and something that you truly love to do, then there's no stop doesn't exist. You're just gonna keep going and
Right.
do it until you can't do it anymore.
Well, that's, we're supposed to use our gift, and I know that's what, God's really wanting me to do, to try to reach particularly kids. I have a concern. There's a lot of kids out there that might read a book whose parents don't, or, are not in a faith, or not, they don't take them to church or Sunday school,
Mm.
but it might be a good way to reach them. And so I'm really anxious to get books in the hands of kids. Now, you mentioned reviews, and unfortunately for children's authors, kids don't usually write reviews. So we have to depend on their parents, and that
Yeah.
doesn't happen very often. But oh my goodness, I'm so grateful for any reviews that we get. And for those, I know Kevin, because you work with a lot of authors, those reviews really make a difference
Yeah.
in where you're located on the page for Amazon and those kinds of things. They can also order my books on Barnes and Noble if they want to. And some of the books are on christianbooks.com also.
Okay.
So there's some other venues.
Well, I am kind of I guess you can say secretly encouraging the parents, grandparents, great grandparents to number one, get involved with the reading of these publications. Don't just leave it up to your
Mm-hmm.
child or grandchild or great grandchild to do it. I was speaking to a young lady the other day, and she's gonna send me a book, and it's called Poly Patience. And one of the things about that book, one of the topics is called bath time. And I told her, well, I have a granddaughter who just really, I mean, she is in love with bath time. So I had told her that I'm gonna let my granddaughter go in. She's gonna get in her little bubble bath water and close the curtain and sit back and relax. And then I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna read bath time to her at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, "Oh my goodness!" She got excited. But it's important because the reason I'm saying all that to say this: if I read it to them, then I get to understand what they should be grasping and understanding as
Mm-hmm.
well. And then
That's
I
true.
had go ahead, go
Yeah,
ahead.
it also it really shows kids that you think it's important to read.
Yeah,
If parents aren't reading, and I know parents are really pressed for time and they might not have an opportunity to read a lot with their kids, but once in a while, if they could read with their kids would know, hey, reading's pretty cool.
Right,
And my
right.
mom likes it, my dad and my grandparents like it.
Well, we're not going to give them any excuse or any reason. I know parents are super bad. See, I'm not going to ride along with you on that, so I'm going to get out of the car at that moment because I'm not going for that. We have time to do everything else. And it's amazing because while we're doing everything else, we always make sure that it's important for the everything else to know I got to go back and spend some time with my kids and family.
Uh-huh.
So no, 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 no. We're not gonna give them the
You're going to make them
no,
read.
no, no. You got moments, you got time in your schedule to read to your children, grandchildren, great grandchildren. You got time. I tell you what, stay off of Facebook for 15 minutes and read to your grandchildren. Stop watching
Or
TV.
Instagram,
Oh,
TikTok,
TikTok.
Instagram.
Oh my goodness. Now she's going there. Oh, now she's going there. Okay. All of that. You got time to do TikTok for 20 minutes making some kind of funny video, but you don't want to read to your children. Come on now. You know what? Let them read to their children and let them along now. Now, this is important too, Terry. Let them along with their children leave that review.
Oh, that'd be great. To
Yeah.
start teaching them to do it.
Right. I mean, along with the, because you want to know what the child thinks. You're going to find, you're going to get what the parents think. Trust me. They're going to give their honest opinion whether you like it or not. But how does the child think? The child is not being judgmental. The child is going to tell you the truth based on what she heard or read in that book. So, all
Well,
right.
I will say I've had some really great reviews where parents actually say that, and they'll tell me, I got this book, for this one child, but the older brother, he wanted to read it with us.
Ah,
So I love those reviews like that where they tell me how they did that, with their kids.
yeah, well, once again, I am so honored. I'm grateful. I am just overwhelmed with joy that you were able to join me today. Of course, we're going to be doing a follow-up conversation with you because now we have also received the fact that it's going to be adding more publications. I got a thumbs up on my text from our additional networks who are currently airing this conversation, as well as going to be airing your trailer. Looking forward to hearing some more outstanding things about some more great publications that you have and some more places that you're going to be going, things you're doing, where you're doing them at, all that great stuff. I'm excited, and they are excited to receive it. So with that being said, I just want to thank you so very much for being here. Number one, being here today, taking time out of your busy book writing schedule, and of course accepting Terry, the invitation to be a part of our broadcast network family as one of our featured children's authors. I want to thank you for that. Okay.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
And of course, we do know that you have the number, and we want you to use it. And anything that we can
Okay.
do, anything that we can do to assist you along this journey of this ongoing journey, we want you to let us know. Pick up the phone, give us a call, let us know. And I want you to know two things. If you do, the answer will always be yes, and you'll never have to ask me twice to do whatever it
Oh,
is that I
thank
can
you.
do. Okay, so thank you
All
so
right.
much for joining us. I'm going to get back. I'm going to play this this trailer that's filled with a lot of dramatics up next, and then I that is just tickling you. You are just tickled. I tell you. But
Made my day.
I'm gonna be playing it up next, so I want you to stay close. I'll be sending you a copy of this conversation and letting you know where we go from here. So you don't forget. Continue to keep doing what you're doing. Continue to be blessed and be a blessing to others in the process. I want you and yours to have a fantabulous rest of your day. God bless you, and I look forward to talking with you again soon, okay?
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you. God bless you, and I'll talk with
Bless
you
you.
later. Terry
Okay.
Overton, one of our featured children's authors here on the GMAP Broadcast Network, GMAP1.com. Stop by, click on the tab that is simply titled Featured Children's Authors. It will take you to the necessary location to find out more intimate information and details about the publication, as well as the author and all of the outstanding information. I haven't even began to give you the information. Click on the cover. It will take you to the necessary location. And don't forget, show your love, care, concern, and support. Until next time, peace. God bless you. Take care. Take it easy. And, well, if it's good to you, take it twice. Yours truly, Pastor Kevin, along with Terry Overton. And we shall be looking forward to hearing from you all soon. Bye-bye.